Well, hello there, stranger. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I am so happy to be speaking with you again. It's been too long.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a message for you from our darling friend Anton. He told me to tell you you'd better behave during this interview.
Anton knows better than that.
So do I. How are you, Vernon?
Very well, thank you, sweet one.
I don't know how you do it. Every time I turn around, you have another film coming out. You're shooting something. There's something in pre-production. How do you manage this and still have time to do wonderful things? You are just the kindest, sweetest man around, Vernon.
Oh, Puffy.
Oh, please. I invested in a film only because you were in it.
Oh, dear.
So there.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. You know what? Everybody asks me the same question. I seriously have no clue. I am me. That's the end of it. I am who I am, and I don't try to be anybody else. But as for all the films, it's just this. I asked a good friend of mine, whom I work with occasionally, a director, Doogie. I said, Dukes, why do you keep hiring me? And he said, well, you finally grew up. And you know what? I think he's right. I think finally I stopped being that idiot kid who had it all and screwed it over badly to somebody who was a competent actor who wanted to make everything he did the best he could do it. And I think that's why I keep getting booked.
Well, everything that you do, and this is one thing, and I know I've told you this before, but everything that you do, Vernon, I have seen this progression throughout your career as you have honed your skills and your character abilities more and more and more. And at this stage of the game, I'm seeing stuff from you I haven't seen. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to these kids' movies that you're now doing. Oh my God, Vernon, this is something totally new for you.
Yep, and fun.
I am so excited to see those. Geek and Sally Floss.
I love Sally Floss. I just had so much fun doing it, and I really, really loved the film.
Well, I have to tell you, I paid money to see Thor, God of Thunder on VOD. I like you as Odin.
Thank you.
You've got a darker edge than what Sir Anthony brings for Marvel. But I really love the intensity that you bring to Odin.
Well, thank you. That actually came about because the lead in it that's playing Thor is a good friend, and I worked with him on a film called Root. When it comes out, you definitely want to see it. It's brilliant. And they apparently were having problems on the film, and he just said to them, look, guys, you know, the only person that can do this is Vernon, and he's a good buddy. I'll ring him and get him to come in. And they were like, well, you know, and he said, seriously. So they kind of capitulated to him, and I guess they were happy as clams that they did. It was fun. I just enjoyed it. I had so much fun playing Thor. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Odin, playing Odin.
But see, this is what I love about these roles that you're taking on now, Vernon. A lot of people they're still expecting to see a psychotic Wes or something, you know, from Commando. They may be small roles. Some of them, playing Odin is not a small role.
A lot of them were I do a couple of days of a
Right.
film, and
That's what you did with Social Distance. You came in and you did it by Zoom, and you were out.
yep, look at that. I won an award for Best Actor for it.
I know.
But I loved doing it. I had so much fun, and I know Brian, and I appreciate the fact that he's one of those guys that gets out there and takes his shirt off and gets down and dirty. And I just enjoyed the film. I loved the character because even at the end of the film, you still have no clue who he is.
That's right.
You have no clue. You just do not know who this man is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about the character. The film ends and you go, hang on.
Yeah, you have to look again. You've got to watch again to try and glean character traits and the truth.
Yep.
And
we sort of left it in there, but we didn't make it easy.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that makes Brian a good filmmaker. And then you work with James Bresek a lot on his films.
Yep.
You know, you did Tales from the Other Side,
Uh-huh.
and which I love that anthology series. I was talking to James Duval the other week about it, his role and his little short that he did. Mm-hmm. But yours, Flicker, James, that was his story, and then you worked with Scotty Baker as the writer and director. But these are things that we haven't seen from you before, and it's exciting, Vernon.
Yeah, I love it because I get cast into things now that I never would have even considered doing. Like, I've now done 3-4 kids' movies, which I never would have, in my wildest dreams, thought anybody would have cast me into a kids' movie. But I have so much fun in them, and it's just, and I think what propelled all of that was the fact that I did the 12 months in the kids series on TV, Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where people saw the other side of me because, that character was just, he could have been just straight down the line a villain. But I wouldn't do it that way. I said, no, I'm sorry, it's not the way I see him. He's somebody who totally thinks that they're all wrong and he's right, and the only thing on earth that, apart from power, that he wants is his daughter. And that's the way I played it, and that's the way it came over, and it was just so cool. It worked so well.
And this begs the question, with these roles that you're now taking, how much freedom do you have to interpret the character as you see them? On paper, or the writer or director, they see him as a straight villain, and then you say, no, I don't see him that way. Are you getting more freedom to alter the perspective of the characters? A lot
of times, the writer and James, for instance, and they will talk to me about it and say, okay, how do you see it? And then we'll go through a whole thing of how I see the character and how I want to play the character, and they'll go back and write the script focused on that kind of thing, so that it all comes off really well. Because I guess I've got to the point in my career now where people trust my initial thoughts of how I want to play a character. They don't kind of go, oh God, he's going to screw this. And, they just, they go, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And which I find it's hysterical at times. But I have so much fun with it, and I get to play all these wonderful characters. I've now played 3 fallen priests. I mean, seriously, I'm never going to heaven. It's just ridiculous. And I keep playing these fallen priests. And, I just love it because the characters are so much fun. I did one... I've done 2 now where I'm fighting the devil. Mm-hmm. Someone's possessed. And then the one that I did with C.K. Root. I don't actually play a priest. Well, he was. He was in Vietnam. He was Corpsman, but he was one of the ministers. Mm-hmm. So he'd call him a priest. But that one was so much fun doing it, and we really got into the characters. We made the characters live. I mean, I did some ridiculous things. I play Elvis Presley, for God's sake. It was fun, and they let me do it.
Well,
That was the fun part of it. And it was so funny. We were shooting the scene, and this lady from the outside the street came over, and she said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "When are you doing your Elvis? Is it tonight at the hotel?" And I went, "It'll be in about 3 seconds if you just walk back the other side of the street and watch." It was so funny. She thought I was an Elvis impersonator.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So, things like that make it worthwhile.
And with Of the Devil, I love your character
Mm-hmm.
as the priest in here. And I think you are a perfect counter to what Robert Lasardo brings as the surgeon, quote unquote. I just talked to Rob last week about the film. And he's like you. He likes to get in, he likes to develop a character, make it his own,
Mm-hmm.
and then get out and go on to the next project. But I think you, with more experience, I think you relish each experience, I think, a little more. And
I just, I made a promise many, many, many years ago that the first time I wake up in the morning and roll over in bed, look at the clock, and it says 4 o'clock, and I go, I don't want to get out of bed, go to the location, screw it. It's finished. Because the minute it becomes a job, I don't want to do it.
mm-hmm.
I have too much fun enjoying it, and while I can continue to enjoy it, I'll continue to do it. I mean, they'll bring me in on a friggin' stretcher if they have to. It's just, I just have so much fun doing it now, and I get to play just the most wonderful, wonderful characters. And also, I'm behind the camera as well, so I do get to direct again, so I'm directing as well. And I love that now, because when I first started directing, I was so immature and so had no clue, but thought I did, that I just gave it up. And that's where the acting took over. I just became more and more involved in acting.
Mm-hmm.
But with now, when someone says, you want to direct this, I love it. I just get out there because now I understand the process, the points, the ups, the downs, where the characters are coming from. Let the actors do their job. Let them get out there and do it. Then all you do is you go, okay, let's do this, da 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 da, and just add points. Don't try to be one of these people who controls everything they're doing, because what you do is you get a stilted performance.
Mm-hmm.
You need to let them have the freedom to breathe, because once they have the freedom to breathe, the character breathes. That's, if you watch what I do now, because I'm allowed to breathe and just to do my thing, the characters are alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that's the way it is. Once you get to that point where you can just do it, I just love it. I just enjoy working on the characters and doing things with them and giving them the subtleties of not being so upfront. That's what I loved about Odin. Odin to me was a lot of fun, simply because he was very much the matriarch or patriarch, whatever you want to call him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also the king of kings. He
Yes.
was the king of gods. This was Odin, for God's sake. So you had to be very aware that you couldn't make him into someone who was downplayed. He had to have that thing about him where you looked at him and you went, I don't think I want to screw with him.
That is definitely the impression I got about Odin as I watched your performance.
Yeah, it was fun. The biggest funny thing about that was when we were doing the makeup, they said, we're going to give you, instead of giving you a patch on your eye, which everybody does, we're going to give you the eye. And I went, wow, that's so cool. We give you the big scar. And because I'm insane about all that stuff. I went, that'll be so cool. Yes, we'll do that. And they said, it'll be your left eye. Is that okay? And I said, that's fine. We got an hour and a half of makeup done with all this stuff on, completed. And they said, all right, let's do a run-through. It hit me right when they said let's do a run-through, and I picked up the script, I had my eyes recalibrated because I had a problem with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they recalibrated them so that my left eye is really the one that focuses on things that are close.
Oh.
And my right eye focuses on things that are, but when you actually are walking around, they're both focusing in the same area.
Sure.
And of course, once you took one of them away, I was blowing. And I went, oh shit. And everyone went, what? I went, I can't see. What? I went, I did the wrong eye. It was so funny. So they had to read the script to me so that I could do the readings with them. It was just very funny.
Oh my! Well, I have to say that makeup work
yeah,
was amazing.
Yes. I just loved the makeup, just the look of him. He had that look, like the eye, the scar. You didn't screw with this man.
No.
You knew that if you did, he was going to kick your ass, and you were going to suffer for it.
That scar was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of these mamby-pamby scars like Thor in the MCU has or that Odin has. No, this was a battle scar.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we talked about all that. And I said, no, I want the scar to be real. I want that for people to look at that scar and think, my God, who hit him?
Yeah, no, the makeup work was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Something I'm curious about, Vernon. How beneficial do you think, because you did a lot of TV stuff early in your career. I mean, you were bouncing in and out of stuff like Fall Guy, MacGyver, Knight Rider, Hunter. How much of a training ground, how beneficial was that to you as you made the progression moving into film?
I think that what it did was because I was new to here. I just came to America and I was suddenly getting all these TV shows, which was great. I think what it did is it gave me an inside look at how the system works, and which I've always been grateful for, because it made me understand the way things are done here. Film is different to TV. I mean, TV, you have to get it, it's the way it is. They don't have time to do 300 takes. You got to get it right. On film, of course, you can retake, move it, do it, make it work. On TV, you've got to make it work. And I think that side of it made me understand that I had to know what I was doing. I had to have my character down. I had to be on my game the minute I walked onto that set, which I think is, for me, it was very beneficial for when I walked on to a film set, because I already had everything down.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what it was. I didn't have to sit and think about it. I knew what my character was and where he was going. That became part of what I should do. So I think that helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It just made me understand what I was doing. And I mean, to me, this is a professional business.
Yes.
I don't care what you are, who you are, whether you're 12 years old or you're 150 years old. It's a professional business, and it's your job to be professional. Unfortunately, we have a hell of a lot of people in it that aren't.
Yes.
And that's sometimes the crime of it, and they make a lot of money. And you think, oh, dear God, why don't they grow up? But then that's not my position to be, telling people what they should do either. I don't do that. But it's one of those things where you don't want to be one of them, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I much prefer being who I mean, I get up to so many bad things when I'm working. People some of the outtakes of me you don't really want to watch. I really can get up to some bad things.
Well,
but it's just fun, and that's what I think. I have another director I work with. Every so often he will ring up and say, what are you doing? And I go, nothing. Why? So, do you want to come over to the set for a day? And I go, sure. And he goes, great, we'll, pay you $700 to be here. And I go, what, I'm working? Great. And he goes, no, actually, we just want you to hang around, give everybody a hard time.
Now that's a job you can get behind. Oh my God, Vernon.
It's fun. It's fun. It really is. It's just, and the funny thing is 20 odd years ago, 20, 30 years ago, a bit over that, I'm not going to keep going with my longevity here. But back then you would not have been talking to me. I was an asshole. And I admit it, and I knew it. I just didn't give a shit. A few things woke me up. Something that happened in my manager's office woke me up, and meeting my wife and marrying her, the little Buddhist, that changed my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last 30-odd years since we've been together, my career has gone from point Z to point A.
Wow.
There's that whole difference, and that thing you're talking about, my attitude to everything, that came about from her.
Well, they always say behind every great man is an even greater woman.
But no, I mean, it was just the fact that, this, I didn't have a choice. My manager had said to me that what brought it to a screaming halt was that virtually people were having one of those tools on when I would commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
And when that is sort of brought to your attention and you suddenly go, what?
Yeah.
What the hell? What do you mean? What? And then you realize just what you've been, or you don't. It's up to you. You have right there, right at that moment, you have a choice to go, whoa, shit, I got to stop this. I've got to, this train has got to stay on the tracks. Or, hey, what the hell, let it derail, who cares? I refused to let it derail. I wanted it on the tracks. So that kind of started me thinking about what I was doing and how I was reacting with other people and what people thought of me. And it changed me. Mm-hmm. Made me into a nice person. So now I'm just a pain in everybody's ass. But I'm nice about it.
You're a nice pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm a nice pain in the ass now, yes.
We'll add that to your resume. Vernon is a nice pain in the ass.
That's it. I'm going to have that put up in big letters.
Got to ask you, what was it about of the devil that drew you into this role? You're not a defrocked priest here.
Nope, I'm a real one.
You're a real one, and you're trying through the whole film to bring Ben back to the priesthood.
Yep.
Until we come to a critical moment where we have this adorable little boy who Rob's character of the surgeon has twisted, shall we say. What was it about this? Because it's very interesting watching you in the third act, especially in this role, although you do pop up in other moments in the film. You just don't come in and disappear. We get you several times. But I'm really curious because I'm trying to think of the right word for this performance. I could not look away from you and the sincerity that you brought to this priest in his intentions and what he was trying to do, and especially with Jonathan Stoddard's character of Ben, and how you never pushed. You drop hints about coming back to church and ease back in. It was a really interesting role, and then to see you working with this young boy.
The young boy was what got me to do it, by the way.
Talk to me about this role and bringing this priest to life, because this really, it's riveting to watch you, and it's sincerity that you bring to this character.
Yeah, it was interesting because I actually did, a long time ago, I did 3 years of seminary school, learning, because religion has always been one of my things.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm religious like that. No, I'm a Buddhist, so I believe in the whole thing, but I don't believe in the some of the moralistic side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am fascinated with the fact that more people have died for religion during the ages than in every war mankind has ever had.
Yeah.
And yet, religion is probably one of the few things that we have to accept as a basis of what it is. We cannot prove what it is. And so it always fascinated me as to how people can become so controlled or so involved with what that is that they will give their life or do things that are just outside the norm. And I loved doing it. We went to Japan because Grace is Japanese American. We went to Japan and we went to all of the main temples for the Buddhism, and just looking at these things and walking around in the footsteps of people that have been doing this for 12,000 years was mind-blowing to me. I was like, my God, I am such a peon in control, in comparison to who these people are. And so that was the basis of where I came from. When they asked me to do this, it was like, oh, this should be cool, because I have a parameter of how I look at people that are involved in religion. And my thing is that you should always be truthful, and you should always be aware of who you are and what your religion is and who you're talking to. And with the young boy and with the father, I had those elements that I could just become this human being, this priest who had nothing more in his mind than to try to save these two human beings. No, nothing else. There was no ulterior motive to it. And that intrigued me immensely, and that's why I wanted to do it. That's how I played it, I hope. Because that's what really appealed to me in the whole thing.
As I said, the sincerity and the whole idea of wanting to help, but with no pressure.
Yeah, point. Mm.
I was just riveted watching you in this role, Vernon. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, well, I got another one coming out, which you may have seen in my thing, called The Monster Within.
I have heard about that. I am anxious to see that.
Yeah, I play a priest, but he's a defrocked priest, and I had so much fun doing that film. I had so much fun doing that film. The young lady who wrote it, I know she produced it as well as stars in it. Just a wonderful, wonderful lady. And she just let me go. She was like, no, I want you to do it the way you see it. And that's what we did. We worked it out, and it just works so well. I just had, because all the time through the film, there's this wonderful thing of where she says, Father, and I go, you can't call me Father. Why? I'm not a father. I'm just me now. Oh. Father. And it's like this wonderful, wonderful thing all through the film where she keeps calling me Father.
Oh, my God.
Because she was one of my students way back before I got chucked out of the priesthood.
Ah.
And it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful film. I love it. It's these things that really make me feel. And then the one I did with Devani Pin, have you heard about that one?
Which one?
Frost.
I have not heard about Frost.
Oh, my God.
I know that you did a film called Frost, but I haven't heard anything about it. I know, once again, this is another story that James has put together.
Yep. It will blow your epping mind.
And of course, I know it's set in winter, which makes me, I have to ask you, Anton was so excited last night and said, you have to watch Fear of the Woods. You have to watch Fear of the Woods.
Oh, yes.
He sent me the link to this short film. Vernon, number one, Fear of the Woods. It's a beautifully shot film.
Yes.
Oh, the production values are amazing, and that location is stunning. The twilight skies, the snow, the fog. That bear is one of the coolest things. But here again, you, as the father, as this bear hunter, this mountain man, this has to be one of the most perfect roles for you I've ever seen.
Yeah, the director said that when we finished.
I totally forgot this was even a movie. The visuals drew me in, and the camera work and the way they were dutching the camera with you and a rifle and setting up the whole metaphoric power play between you and the bear, and just on every level a stunner. I love this short.
Well, the thing about it is, it turned out so good, and it's won so many awards. I've been fortunate to win 2 acting awards for it. But it, and I think the gentleman that played my brother won one too. But it has won so many awards. It is now, they're going into production on the full feature at the end of the year, and it is now the first 20 minutes of the film.
Oh my gosh.
So they've got the first 20-minute shot, and it will be cool, so to speak. But that's one of my favorite films. That I just had so much fun doing it. It was shot in Sweden in the middle of winter, which is not a good place to be in the middle of winter.
No.
I'm here to tell you. I froze my padoopies off for a week, but it just turned out so amazing. And the end scene where I'm talking to my son, telling him that he knows what to do. I've come back from the dead, virtually the image.
Mm-hmm.
That was never in the film. We were actually the last night in the cabin where we all were. He had just got out of the shower and just wiped his hair, and he was sitting in front of the fire getting warm. And the director just suddenly said, I've got an idea. This is what we're going to do. And we shot that scene with a cameraman, no lighting. And basically we worked the dialogue out in 5 minutes and shot that scene, that beautiful, beautiful scene.
Oh.
And then Titus said, when they were editing it, Titus said, we probably won't use that scene. And the editor said, if you don't put that scene in the film, I'm not editing the film. He said, no, you don't understand. That is the end of that thing. You cannot just say, no, you're not going to, no, that is how it ends there. And it carries into the whole film, because when it ends there with him being told by me that he has to go out and do it, you've got the rest of the film then.
That's right.
But no, I love that little piece. It was just, yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that piece. And we get the title card that, okay, 6 months later, and then we get this warm, golden warmth of the fire, which is a total contrast to the rest of the film. And you see this whole father-son connection, the warmth of paternal love, and a son finally accepting who his father is. And it's just such a powerful moment.
It's just one of those moments. Beautiful.
Now, will you be coming back for the feature?
Nope.
Ah!
I'd be dead.
Well, yeah, I know you'd be dead, but, you know, you could come back with more inspirational,
They may get me to do some voiceover stuff for it.
yeah,
but,
something speaking to the sun in his head, encouragement, something like that, an internal voice.
Titus said they may do that. They're not sure. Well, they'll see how it goes. But you know what? I am more than happy with what I did. They're not going to improve on that with the film.
Oh, no, it's stunning. It is stunning. I think it's safe to say it is the most visually beautiful film you've ever been in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just so good. I loved every freezing goddamn second of it.
You mean that furry coat wasn't warm enough?
The furry coat was great. It was the friggin' snow that would get down into my nether region when I was getting dragged around on my ass by a bloody big monster. That was a problem I had.
Oh my God, Vernon. But trust me, it was well worth it.
Oh, yes.
For what we see on screen, it was well worth it.
Oh, yes, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Oh my God. So what are you working on actually filming or shooting right now? Or are you in between films?
I'm headed up to, where am I headed up to? Yeah. Actually, we've now got to figure it out because I just realized that my flights are for the wrong day.
Uh-oh.
Which should be interesting when I ring them up and tell them in about 10 minutes or so when I finish with you. I'm flying to Atlanta. It's a TV series which I'm playing. The character's name is Odin, believe it or not, but it's not Odin. I laughed when they said to me, well, you're playing the father, you know, he's a very intense, scientific type. It's in the future.
Ooh.
And I said, And they said, yeah, it's a really cool role. You know, we'd love you to do it. And I said, okay. So they sent me the stuff. And I said, yeah. So now they're doing a teaser for I think, Netflix or someone who wants to take it. And so they sent it to me, and I rang them up and I said, is there you've got the script wrong or something? And they went, what? I said, well, you're referring to me as Odin. I've already done that. They went, what? And I went, I'm kidding. It's just very funny that my name is Odin in that one.
It is. What's going on with your the Christmas manual, the holiday anthology, where you play Santa?
Yes. That's coming out this year, I believe, isn't it? Towards the end
I don't know. I'm hoping it does. I really want to see it.
As far as I know, it's coming out. It's coming out towards the end of the year. I have right at this precise moment 5 films coming out.
I know. It's amazing.
It's just ridiculous.
And then everything you have that's in post-production right now, it's just scary. Scary. Vernon.
I know.
Oh, my God. Well, I should let you go so you can make your call about your incorrect flight times.
Oh, God, this is just ridiculous.
Travel is ridiculous, but...
I will do that, and we should talk at another time.
We shall.
And please say hello to the boy and tell him that I'm uncontrollable.
I will let the boy know that. Well, my friend, you go. Get your flight worked out, and we will definitely chat again soon, good sir.
Okay, my dear. I'm going to go now, and we will, yes, we will see what kind of, yes.
We'll see what mischief you can get into.
Yes, totally. All right, sweet one. I will talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later, Vernon. Have fun in Atlanta.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.